Well, hello everybody. Mikey Kung Pao here with a special edition. Wait, let's turn this music down before we go crazy. Special edition of commentary for the final closing arguments. Finally, at last, at wrong last. And I'm so proud of Juan Martinez because he did an excellent, masterful, fantastic closing argument yesterday. He were a little bit weak today in his rebuttal against Nurmi, but that ain't going to make no difference because he got all the facts out on the table. He did so well yesterday, and he did tie up the loose ends today after Nurmi tried to throw his crap against the wall. You know, none of it sticks, so Juan had to clean that off the wall and everything. Okay, anyway, got my special Jodi glasses on, you know, Jodi prescription, so don't know if I'll be able to read so good on everything, but let's see what we're going to talk about today. We're going to look at a few video clips and everything of the Nurmi final summation. Don't want to do much on the Juan from yesterday because that's really serious business, and he do such a good job. People should just watch that whole thing, and nothing I can comment on that. He just do great. Anyway, but let's talk about Nurmi for a second, the big Nurmi. Okay, of course, as we expect, all he talked about today were sex and trying to smear Travis and pedophile crap, and but he brought up a couple arguments we haven't heard before that we should address, and we'll look at in the crypts too. And one was, hey, you know, my client, if she were going to plan this out in advance, why did she leave all this documentation and buying a gas can at Walmart and everything, and all that kind of thing? And why do she buy gas in Salt Lake City? Why do she do this and why do she do that? Of course, Juan did address this, and that answer to that pretty simple. The only place where she was doing the covert mission was to Arizona. And that's where everything was blacked out, you know, the cell phone and the receipts and the gas can and all that kind of thing. All the rest of the thing was part of her alibi. You know, a 2,700-mile trip, supposedly to go see this guy in Utah, Ryan Byrne, and to go do all this photography and everything. That all part of her plan. You know, she don't have enough money to go just do a mission to Arizona and nobody know about it. She had to borrow all that money from them two boyfriends down in Santa Cruz and Monterey, you know, when she coming through here through my town. Ooh, the hackle on the back of my neck stuck up back there in 2008. I was wondering why, like June 2nd and 3rd and stuff, you know, the hair was standing on the back. I remember that. Just like she remember, you know, what color socks she wore back then, you know, on that Tuesday. Anyway, what else did he bring up? He talked about, most of what he brought up was such silly arguments. I just doing this eye roll, you know, and so was everyone else. But he did bring up one more thing that I don't think will confuse any jurors, confuse a few people out there, and that were, if she were going to kill Travis, and she walked in on him, and she got the gun and a knife and everything, why don't she just shoot him? He were turned around the other way and everything, and of course, Juan had a real good point on that. It was like, when he were talking, it was like, hey, who sneak into someone's house, go up behind them, and just stand there and stare at them, you know, like some kind of weird zombie creature or stalker or whatever. That was really creepy, I think. Anyway, and then he say, then Nurmi say, then Travis would turn around with it back to Jodi when he were in the shower, taking them photos and everything. Oh, why didn't she launch her attack then? He wouldn't see it coming. Oh, I mean, really, come on. Aren't the answer to the question completely obvious? Jodi was furious with Travis for a month. It was building and building and building in her. She was planning this thing when she steal the grandparent gun. She was planning. Do you know what a borderline personality disorder really is? Besides some of the other things you hear about, one of the characteristics is the emotions are like 10 times stronger than a normal person. The rage and the anger inside that sociopath was so strong. She wanted Travis to know who were killing him, and she wanted it to be brutal, torturous, painful, and look right in his eye when she's doing it. I'm sorry, I gotta tell it like it is. I mean, everybody else know this. She's not gonna go up and shoot that guy from behind. She wanted him to know who plunging the knife into his chest when she do it. She were a little bit surprised that he lived as long as he did, and that's why she had to chase him down the hall. But if she didn't pre-plan to get all her rage out in this way, why she keep stabbing him 28 times? Why she slit his throat? Why she put bullets in him afterward? Okay, all that was to get her rage out. She want him to know who doing it, and she want him to feel it, and she want to look right in his eye when she doing it, okay? So Nurmi argument ridiculous. Anyway, what else are we going to talk about? Why didn't she kill him right away? Why did she have sex and all that? Okay, that's obvious too. She wanted to give Travis a chance to repent for one of two things. Either she wanted him to repent of his rejection of her and had calling her evil and a sociopath and from Satan, the worst thing that ever happened to him, all the thing he said in that last text just before she planned the murder. Either she wanted him to repent of all that and take her to Cancun, or she going to do what her original plan was, A or B. That's it, you know. And so, or you know, possibly she wanted to do all that to get him relaxed in the shower. After sex, you get more relaxed, and then she know he's gonna go take a shower, and she have some phony pretext about taking picture and thing, and that's how she wanted him to be down on the floor, vulnerable, because she wanted to launch that attack, and she want him to know she doing that attack. So that was an easy one to answer. Okay, let's look at the also, and then Nurmi talk about, hey, if somebody were planning, so where would they make this mistake, that mistake? That like what's that stupid Lavirette say? If she were gonna lie about this, she would have made up a better lie. Are you kidding? Are you really kidding me? Come on. You know, Jodi thinks she Einstein, but she not. And she making mistake all over the place, putting license plates on upside down and in the dark and all that kind of thing. Blow up Travis' car when she get it. Try to tow it with it in transmission, in gear and everything. This girl is a ditz and an idiot. Okay, so let's get that straight. I don't care. She read, by the way. She don't read out of college level. She read out of 12th grade level on that test when they were talking about that. So she know Einstein. Anyway, let's go look at some video clips when we come back, and we'll be a little bit lighthearted. We need to have some humor to break up the monotony while we wait for the jury deliberation, which is going to come in with first-degree murder, I think. I hope that I keeping my finger crossed. Okay, we'll be back in a few minutes. We'll look at some clips. All right, here we go. So notice Weirmont has her usual sourpuss look on. Let's see what Nurmi got to say here.
Was that ultimately your job would be to determine one thing.
What is that? Look like a peanut head or something.
Your job would be to determine
more chin and a high Chinese
phone book. You
read
some jury instructions yesterday that you were the finder of fact.
I feel sorry for this Mikee guy. Not only do I have a great name, but he got a nice little gray beard here. You have to listen patiently to the whole trial the whole time and all this nonsense. He needs a special award for that.
What happened? What happened in the minutes in time between...
What happened in the minutes in time between I blow my rind and I don't pull it off at the right time? What did that back there? Jodi going, you incompetent fool, you're blowing my defense again. That was she thinking.
Between what we see here on Exhibit 159, June 4th,
let's see what else.
Received.
Objection. Proper argument. Approach.
Juan didn't make too many objections in this thing, but one thing I noticed about the people in the audience, you know how they were paying extra money to take somebody's Rato seat, you know, they pulled the seat by Rato. And so yesterday in the closing argument by Juan, people really want to get in there, you know, pay extra money to get somebody's seat who won the Rato. I think today, though, for Nurmi Crows, I think somebody had to pay them to take the seat, sit through this thing. But anyway, they do want to see Juan final rebuttal, so let's move on. Well, we're going to go, let's go up to here. See what was going on up here. Oh, I know what. He say he don't like Jodi. Listen to this.
I don't like Jodi Arias.
I don't like Jodi. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's pretty funny, all right. Even Weirmont got a tiny bit of a grin on her face. Hey, Jodi, nobody like you. What the deal there? Okay, anyway.
But that...
Sustained.
Yeah, because see what he's doing? He angering for like an appeal. He's so desperate that it's like, let's see, if I say I don't like her, maybe we can win this on appeal after she's convicted. Okay, that way thinking. What else going on?
Yes, it is directed to disregard the last statement.
But that doesn't matter.
I heard the judge even think that funny.
Remember we heard that charge of felony murder yesterday?
Listen to this.
With a plan.
There's a Freudian slip coming
Now
up.
they pointed to a couple different days yesterday. Pointed to May 19th, the day that Miss Arias had a conversation with Miss Housley that she was fearful or excuse me, that
Oh, Miss Housey was fearful. See, everybody were fearful of Jodi, so he made a little Freudian slip. But let's go on and hear Nurmi's very favorite line in the whole trial. You'll know the one I'm talking about when you hear it.
Mr. Alexander was fearful of Jodi.
Yeah, he was too. And who can blame him?
Of course, on May 10th, we heard that they had a phone sex conversation. And on May 26th,
Which Jodi initiated, by the way.
we heard this conversation, we heard bits of this, or questions about this conversation.
Oh, he talked about
Mr.
today.
Alexander had called Miss Arias a whore, a slut, and a three-hole wonder.
Hey, there you go. You got it in there, Nurmi. Sure, hut, three-hole wonder. Your favorite rhyme. Now, aren't you proud of yourself? All right, now listen to this terrible mistake he made. And this showed just how badly Nurmi's sweeping through this whole trial. I hope they don't get to appeal this thing based on his incompetence. But after the conviction, which is surely coming, listen to this. He's going to say that the gun she stole, 22 caliber. Okay, big difference between 22 and 25, even though they're both small. But
Our gun. And it creates a police report, and it creates a...
we missed
Didn't
it.
get a gun there either. Would have been untraced. Would have been no sign of it. But under this concocted theory that she orchestrated this theft, she breaks in
Steals a 22.
herself, steals money, a DVD player,
What is that there?
and this 22 caliber gun.
25,
And it
Nurmi.
creates a police report, and it creates a trail. Would that be a choice? And keep in mind, the state conceded yesterday that Jodi Arias is a smart woman. Is that behavior consistent with a smart woman
Einstein?
who is starting, planning?
Hey, what is that? My goodness, I'm scared. This looked like a skull and some frames on the Donovan man person, whatever. Okay, let's move on.
This covert mission. Keep in mind, it's covert, very important. That's what the state said yesterday.
Yeah, we talked about
Covert mission. Betrayal.
Look at Juan. He going, do I really have to sit through all this crap? I guess I do. Part of my job at the prosecutor. All right. Let's see what else. We move on. Okay, right here, Nurmi rambling on, incomprehensibly about gas cans and receipts and if she were doing a covert mission, why would she be buying gas in Pasadena using a receipt and blah, blah, blah. Of course, because she'd be going to Arizona. That's the only part of her mission, covert. All the rest of it was part of her alibi. So, his argument made no sense. But watch, even Jodi not buying it. She's going to fall asleep. Watch
So
it.
she had this
You're boring me to death, Nurmi.
$750 or so.
Even boring me.
And she doesn't take it out. She could have put it in cash. She didn't do that. She
Yeah.
wanted to buy gas cans
Could've with the shit
covertly. What could she have done, right? She could have gone in,
All right,
ladies
move
and
on.
gentlemen, but I've never been to a Walmart that doesn't have a garbage can.
Yeah, watch this.
Why wouldn't this smart woman, why
Einstein.
wouldn't she just take this receipt and drop it right in the garbage?
I tell you why, Nurmi, because all of her trip were part of her alibi except a trip to Arizona. You bloated fool, we're not buying this. Anyway, that trash can there, that's for you to throw your summation crows notes in, because that's about what they're worth. And Jodi can go fish them out, except you got her so heavily drugged she can't even move or anything, so let's move on.
I don't want anyone to know I bought this gas can because I'm on a covert mission. A plate that was upside down.
Yeah.
Right, we heard about that. Officer Galletti from the West Jordan Police Department said, I noticed it because it was upside down and for no other reason.
Why do you think it
Does
upside
make
down,
any
Nurmi?
sense that Jodi would have put this plate upside down?
Don't make any sense no matter
She's
how
on
you
this
say it.
covert mission. Remember, she's still trying to be undetected. She's trying to go to Utah to set up her alibi.
So what you saying, she put it upside down on purpose, Nurmi? Oh, don't be an idiot. Come on,
So-
do better than
That
that.
doesn't make any sense.
No, it
But
don't.
let's back up.
Nothing
the
she
car,
did make any sense.
literally and figuratively, right? Because the next point of conduct
I think there's going to be a wrong pause here somewhere.
that is important here.
Well, let me try to figure out what he's doing.
Miss Arias goes to Pasadena.
Miss Arias, go to
And one of the
Pasadena.
things
In,
we
reg-
see,
in regard to this receipt, wrong pause. Let's just look at this for a second. Don't that look like Nurmi's got hanging over her pants? Because he's boring us with this long pause. He's still looking at receipts.
Is that she bought gas.
He's not too clever with his crows here.
And of course, it'll be the last receipt I pull up, but we can see.
Of course. You know, because
she bought gas.
you're not an expert on gas except the passing gas kind. Okay, maybe that's the problem. All right, let's see what's going on up here. Oh, you know what I noticed?
013.
They're boring everyone so
and
badly
237,
that lady back here in the corner, where's my Jodi tool? She's looking at the ceiling the whole time. Watch this lady right here. I don't know what she thinks you're going to find up there. Can you see that? It look like you can, yeah. She going, hey, you know that little fly crawling on the ceiling? Much more interesting than your crows, Nurmi.
Two.
See? She just keep looking up there. Or maybe she's
She
sleeping.
buys
I
gas.
don't know. All right, so let's see what else going on. All right, we're bored with Nurmi. Let's look at a little tiny piece of what Juan said yesterday, because that goes to Nurmi's whole business today about why would Jodi, wait and do all these other things first before killing Travis. And I'm going to show you why right now from Juan's crows yesterday.
Is that he thinks of her. He says, I want you to understand how evil I think you are. At that point, when he's writing that, he is extremely afraid of her because of her stalking behavior.
Stalking behavior, yeah.
And he does think she's evil. And how prophetic. Look at these next words. How absolutely prophetic. No one can dispute that that is the truest, those are the truest words that are spoken in this case. And they're spoken by Mr. Alexander, even though he is not here, through his writings. You, Jodi Arias, are the worst thing that ever happened to me.
She don't like
Little
hearing
doubt
that.
That's the truth. Do we need to look at the pictures of his gashed throat? Do we need to look at the sort of frog-like state that she left him in, all crumbled up in that shower? Or do we need to look at his face where she put that bullet in his right temple to know that what he says there is true? You are the worst thing that ever happened to me. He's telling her enough is enough.
And he told her that in a text 2 days before she stealed a gun and planned her murder trip. Okay, so we know what that thing's all about. And between that and the jealousy and the girl going to Cancun and Travis saying, I don't ever want to be with you, forget about it, and her sneaking in on him, this is why she did the murder the way she did. She wanted it to be wrong and brutal, up close and personal, look in his eyes, see the pain on his face when she plunged that knife in. We have no... listen, remember I show you Jodi Arias in that pose, and I try not to be too serious about this, but this is a serious part, and I say, she reminded me of an evil creature, and I remember a movie I saw a long time ago, and she reminded me of this thing with the wrong skinny bony arms and fingers and what she'd do with them. She reminded me of this creature right here. You see that one? Look at this guy. And that's what she reminded me of. I'll show him again in a second. There he is. And that's what Jodi Arias reminded me of. That's how we feel about her. Okay, anyway, let's move on from there to something else, because that too serious, don't want to contemplate very long. I get depressed, except I know jury going to come in with I do forget this one little thing. Show how bad thing going for the defense today. Even Ruck and things are against them. Listen to this here.
Now, there was some discrepancy. She told Miss LaViolette she shot him in the closet. Well, certainly there's no evidence to that, and there's no evidence that Jodi Arias even said that. Alice LaViolette said, "Oh, that was my mistake." Because I'm not as
so
concerned about
sad.
things that happen.
Where the tears,
before.
Jodi?
I'm there to...
Hear that music going off in the courtroom. And we're going, crap, not only am my summation terrible, and Jodi going, hey, you're messing up my moment, my drama. I was trying to make some fake tears. Even the judge saying to herself, this is what you deserve, Nurmi. Let's jump back to Martinez from today now, and his rebuttal to Nurmi. I don't think he'd do as well as he's done yesterday, but he still did a great job of wrapping everything up.
When the law is on your side, you argue the law. When the facts are on your side, you argue the fact. But when nothing is on your side, you just argue.
Then you just be Nurmi with nothing on your side.
Specifically, there was some mention, perhaps, of somebody's haircut. Does anybody care about Mr. Nurmi's haircut? Was that any part of the evidence that you should consider? There was also some talk about sexual orientation. Whose sexual orientation are we talking about? And did that present itself from the witness stand?
Maybe
Because
Donovan?
remember, you are
Don't know.
indicated that she's ambidextrous. When she was asked by the prosecutor as to whether or not she could write with her left or right hand, she indicated, I'm ambidextrous. So perhaps those are the things that should be remembered.
Okay, this line coming up from Juan. This is why Jodi deserved no mercy, no remorse, because not only does she do this brutal killing and drag it out, but her false allegations of pedophilia, and I'm so glad he brought this up. Watch what he say.
When arguments are being made. The third issue that was brought up was, well, it involved the alleged pedophilia. If she really wanted to cause him some damage, she really wanted to cause Mr. Alexander some damage, why didn't she go to the media about it before this took place, if she really was going to do something like that? Well, if you remember the testimony, in August of 2011, there was a hearing involving an issue with regard to the pedophilia. And at that time, there were some magazines. And one of those magazines...
Secret magazine message. Okay, now they go on and argue for 10 minutes. Skip ahead. They spent like 10 minutes arguing whether he could talk about evidence already came in, which was ridiculous because he have every right to present it. This is the coded magazine message Jodi tried to pass out to Matt McCartney, saying, you better get your testimony to match mine on my false lies about pedophilia and everything.
Magazine, exhibit number 465, along with exhibit number 466, which is the Star magazine to her friend Ann Campbell. And after these magazines were reviewed by the sheriff's office personnel, and after they were put together, this is the message.
I think I have a picture of Nurmi looking at that magazine during testimony. And where's that at? Can't find it right. Oh, here it is, right here. Let's take a look. So this is where the testimony came in a long time ago. So he do all these objections, but he completely out of line. Hey, he's a really attractive man, don't you think? Okay, anyway, get off that.
Exhibit 469, that could be gleaned. And it was, you fucked up. What you told my attorney next day.
Oh, wait, isn't that the girl that is really offended when somebody uses the F word, she claimed? It's so profane and it's so abusive if somebody used that word. That was she claimed before. But now we see what she's writing right here to Matt McCartney in her secret message. Secret magazine message trying to smuggle her out of jail.
Directly contradicts what I've been saying for over a year. Get down here ASAP and see me before you talk to them again and before you testify so that we can fix this. Interview was excellent.
Yeah,
Must talk ASAP.
Get your eyes to match mine. Okay, watch this
Their
part.
argument, because it is just argument, was that she did purchase this 5-gallon can of gasoline, but that she returned it. If you remember on cross-examination, one of the questions that was asked
Watch
by
this.
the defendant,
Nurmi can't handle the
did you
truth.
return it to that same Walmart in Salinas?
That's what she
And
said.
Her answer was yes.
Oh, no, it don't. You're wrong again, Nurmi. Did you pay attention or were you sweeping through the entire trial? Okay, anyway, he lied about that.
Directed to recall the evidence.
Everybody verified that for
Immediately
himself.
after that, the prosecutor asked her, would it surprise you if I told you that they had no record of that gas ever being returned to that Walmart? And her answer was, yes, it would surprise me because
I got the question for
the
you.
care a child is going to
Yeah,
receive.
we skip ahead,
If you had a liar such as the defendant,
Yeah,
would
so-
any
How much Thorazine you think they give her today? She's barely able to keep her eye open. I think they were worried she were going to go stand on her head or have an outburst or something. And they're so worried about her, they've been drugging her up the last few days because you have to listen to what she really like, and they're afraid she's going to react. When Juan talk about how much of a liar she is and everything. Anyway, that was kind of interesting.
advice
Yeah, but let's skip ahead.
as to how to take care of that
About the
individual?
stalking and the spying. And
26, they had this argument. You've seen the argument. He says it's the worst thing that's ever happened to him. And that's true.
Like Jodi.
So what ends up happening again is that it's as if he were pronouncing his own death sentence.
She's going to shake her
She
head.
undertakes to carry this out. It isn't like he requested it. It isn't like he did anything other than attempt to sort of appease this woman that just wouldn't leave him alone.
I totally believe that why he had sex with her. I think he thought, maybe if I give in again and please her, then she'll go away and leave me alone. Because that's the kind of pattern that happened in these situations when he don't know how to get rid of her. Even when she off in Wairika, she's still coming and showing up. And so I feel bad about what happened
Whether
to
it
her.
be by coming over, sleeping underneath the Christmas tree, taking a ring that didn't belong to her, peeping in his window,
Watch her shake
doing
her head.
all of those things that she
See her shaking her head, smarmy, is that smarmy, smug expression on her face. We already know all these things true. She steals a ring that he get for another girl for an engagement ring, because she went to have it, and sneaking around in doggy doors and hiding under Christmas trees and peeping through the bed. Where my peeper at? She's looking in his back bedroom window with these binoculars right here. I mean, that was she doing. Let's move on.
did. Moving to Mesa after he broke up with, or they broke up.
Yeah, he was so abusive that after we broke up, I was in California and I went to live right by him, right next to him, because I couldn't stand him. And that's also why I drove 2,700 miles to have sex with him, because I was afraid he was going to attack me. Okay.
Going into his computer, hitting the backspace button,
right.
breaking into his MySpace account.
We don't need to
All
watch
of
too much
those
of that.
things indicate to you
All the
During
spying.
breaks or recesses. The admonition I had given
Jury
during the
instruction.
trial remains in effect when all of you are not in the jury room deliberating. After setting your schedule, I suggest that you next review the written jury instructions and verdict.
What that there? You ladies in the audience, I think you could take some fashion tips from this Donovan man lady here, because I noticed during the trial, she wore either a Right Brew T-shirt or like a lime green one or an orange one. That her whole wardrobe. So it make life a lot simpler. You're always complaining, don't know what to wear. If you follow her cutting edge fashion advice, you just get 3 T-shirt, 3 pastel color, put it in your drawer, you wear one each day. You just keep rotating through them. And you could even wear it 2 days in a row, you don't get a spaghetti stain on it or something. But today, see, because this is like the whole big final day in court, she wanted to be very respectful of the court and dress up some. And so that way she got a T-shirt now with the logo on it. It got the skull and some flames. We saw it earlier. It's got a skull and some flames, which I think are very appropriate, don't you? So considering all the circumstances, because that where Jodi going to end up. So, that good.
Form. It may be helpful for you to discuss the instructions in verdict form to make sure that you understand them.
With Jodi looking
Again,
at it,
during your deliberations, you must...
she got her eyes closed. I think that she's saying to herself, maybe I effed. After all, maybe I'm effed. And she's looking a little pale. Or maybe she's praying to, who is she praying? I think she's praying to Beelzebub, But the problem is, if she's trying to trade her soul to Beelzebub, that's not going to work because, he got her soul already. And so I don't think that thing's going to work. Anyway.
Follow the instructions
talking about-
and refer to them to answer any questions about applicable law.
They were talking about haircut and stuff earlier, and I was just wondering, maybe the haircut they were referring to, maybe this one, look a little like Laura Violette. Anyway, I think we saw enough, really, of all these things, because Nurmi's a host, and so a hit client, and so Wilmot, and so Laura Violette. Okay, they're all destroyed. All right, so let's go do a cruise, and we'll be done. All right, everyone, so now we're back, and I think that it's clear that Free Willy got beaten in court on the summation. Of course, he had very little to work with. Actually, I don't know if we should call him Free Willy, 'cause I don't think he's seen his Willy in quite a few decades. Maybe we call him Shamu instead. All right, anyway, so I don't think he went out in this final summation. He did the best he can, of course, throwing mud and smearing and all of that kind of thing. But really Juan prevailed. So, the whole defense team, what do we got here? I got the grinning, nice teeth, phony grin, Wilmot Fish. We got the Wilmot Fish was doing her thing best she can. Wilmot, and you know, and then of course the major prayers in this thing, and then of course we got the Nurmi, sorry, he would fill up the camera, but and we had the Jodi shark, used toilet paper shark. For those of you who don't know what the used toilet paper shark is, go see my other video, sympathy for Jodi, and then you'll understand. Okay, remember she say Travis make her feel like used toilet paper, but so we had all the spying and everything. So, but the bottom line is the defense team did the best. But like I show you in the other video before, if this represents the defense team, a guy like Nurmi, you put the right behind here. Remember Juan talking about shining the light of truth on everything? Okay, well, here's the right of truth, okay? You put it behind this rock here, which just represents Nurmi and his arguments and his team and his client, and you don't see no right. There's no right there. Don't shining through, nothing. Okay, but then you take Juan Martinez, and you take a truth and justice, and you take Detective Flores, who've been sitting there for 4 straight months, and all the people behind them, and, all that kind of thing, and, this is what they look like, this is what they represent, their heart, and their agenda that look more like this. Okay, that would inside them. Golden, like this agate, different between a black rock and an agate, what's really going to light up and shine. So that's the way I kind of see it between the two sides. And so what else can we say about this? The deception and the rise and everything all been exposed by Juan. And here's the thing though, Nurmi, although his arguments were very poor, and he did the best he can, but paled compared to Juan. Of course, Juan rings around him. I do think that he could really, really beat Juan's ass in one thing, and that would be in an eating contest, don't you think? I think he could whip Juan in that. So he can take heart and know that he got something there. And then the other thing is, we had one more thing to say about him. I'm going to tell you, Mrs. Mikee Kung Pao say, I need to lose a few pounds myself. And so I'm going to try a special diet plan. I want to tell you all about it. I'll report back to you later, a few months down the road, when they're doing the appeal or something. And the special diet plan, I'm going to print out some large pictures of Nurmi and the Wairika Weight Watcher Club. And what I'm going to do, maybe print out raw violet rear end picture or something. And I'm going to take the picture and I'm going to put some on the refrigerator and some on the cupboards and some on the bread basket and things like that. And I think it will be very successful. So I'll report to you a few months from now, tell you how that worked out. And other than that, what I want to say, I think we'll do another video this weekend sometime. I want to do a video on the evil of Jodi Arias, maybe during the penalty phase. I want to put together some of those clips that show just really how evil she is. And until then, as always, don't go with no sociopath, because if you do, this is what's going to happen, okay? Don't go with no sociopath.